fight fires all around me. I stay silent when I'm drowning. I never wanted you to notice. I always wanted to stay out of focus. It's me against myself. Feels like I'm on the wrong side. I feel like someone else watching from the outside. It's me against myself. Feels like I'm surrounded and I'm broken. I need someone to fix me. I don't know where to turn. I don't know how to tell you when everything falls apart and I'm afraid of losing what's left. Yeah, I'm afraid of me and what's next. Thoughts spin round in my head and I'm still catching my breath lately. Nothing makes sense at all, 'cause it's me against myself. Feels like I'm surrounded, but I don't ask for help, 'cause I feel like I can't win. It's me against myself. Feels like I'm on the wrong side and I'm broken. I need someone to fix me.
If I can, if I could build you up, don't bring me down, bring me down. If I fall, then would you lift me up?
Hey, all right, what's going on, everyone? I apologize. I'm a little bit perturbed. I'm trying to get some of the basic stuff out of the way before we get into the discussion. All right, today we were supposed to have our first battle. However, no one wants to battle us. So, welcome, everyone, to Dowski Shelter, coming from 1381. Yeah, so we finished last season, if you don't know, as first, and there is a couple of strong states in our bracket. Obviously, at the start, no one really wants to go straight for the top dogs initially. So excuse me as I try and do some of this basic maintenance stuff. But today, since we're not going to have a battle, I want to talk about the differences between Season 2, Season 1, and how to kind of get off the right foot real quick. So, yeah, fun times. So the first thing, if you've done Season 1 or you haven't done Season 1, or you don't even know what I'm talking about, basically we're taking tiles here, special tiles, to get special resources so we can upgrade special buildings and we can be stronger for fighting each other and protecting our main bases, which would be, for us, if you want to see kind of our setup here, here's our main AC and our protection. We also have our farm alliances and such. So it extends out. So anyone who tries to destroy us is going to have a little bit of a challenge to get there. But that would have been interesting to talk about had we had a battle. Because when you start talking battles, power is only going to get you so far. I don't care what anyone says. When you start talking about alliances that work together or are stronger, you're not going to win with power. Power is just going to equal power, and you're just going to wind up either at a stalemate or you're just going to take heavy losses. So if you want to properly win against a strong opponent, you need to have tactics. And that's a whole thing, because it can be complicated to get people to work together. Number one, we're talking about 100 different people. Some people have 2 bases at the same time. As you can see, I have 2 bases up. These are my 2 main bases here. Both are at different levels. Both are powerful, but at totally different areas of the season. So, as you know, the season lasts 45 days roughly. They give you a 7-day head start to kind of get set up before they start throwing enemies at each other. So, to do that, you have to make your building stronger. And to do that, if you've done Season 1, you know you have to get special resources, you have to upgrade buildings, use your specialty points, all this kind of stuff. Today, we'll talk briefly about the specialty points. I'm not going to go into detail about what each specialty does. We'll focus more on how you should start the season to give you a good start. We'll talk about difference between paid players and free players, because that does change the game for people. Not everyone is going to be able to afford or want to afford to pay. And if you don't want to pay the $10 to reset and set up again, then, you know, no one's going to judge you for that. But knowing how to use your points correctly in order to put yourself in a good position is going to be the main thing. So the main differences between Season 1 and Season 2 is the tiles are going to be a lot tougher to take. One of the reasons for that is a little bit of a challenge, obviously. The second is because of the introduction of many new buildings. In between seasons, you will get a few new buildings, one of them being your energy lab right here, where you get little cores. You can merge them into more cores, and basically the point here is that you're going to get extra buffs for your units, and that's going to make them stronger. The other reason they're going to make your tiles harder to get is because you're finally going to be introduced to Baneblade for your APCs, which I don't have any yet. I'm stubborn. I work only on legendary parts, so I don't want purples. And I'm not going to settle for anything less than a legendary part. So until I can make actual legendary parts, I'm going to hold off on Baneblades. But basically, this is Baneblade. If you're not familiar with Baneblades, they're basically the extra APC parts for mixed units, but they also give you major buffs for any troop that you want to put in there. basically you break down, your trailblazers, your gatherer, phantoms, your vehicles, rangers, archers, dreadnoughts are your fighters. Your last two are going to be more for rallying, and this is going to be implemented later on during Eden, stuff like that. But for now, your major one is going to be your Baneblade. That, with the Energy Lab and the Hopeness Lab now introduced, which will give extra buffs to your heroes, is going to make your troops much stronger. And in order to make it challenging and fun, they have to make it a little bit more difficult. But the problem is that these are very strong, and it's going to take a while to move up. During Season 1, most people, I should say most people, but a good amount of people were already taking level 14, 15 tiles within the first week. As you can see, yes, some people are taking level 14 tiles, but that's because they know how to allocate their specialty points appropriately. My main base, I just entered 12s, but that's because I messed up. So I misappropriated my specialty points. I'll talk about how I did that and my misunderstanding, why I held myself back, and how I'm correcting it. And my other base is, I believe, taking 11s and about to take 12s. And that's due to the readjusting of my specialty points. So, specialty points is going to be the biggest aspect to the start of the season. So let's go ahead and just pop it up, and we'll talk about it real quick. And we can kind of move on from there. So, your greens are going to be... You got your 3 specialty trees. If you are starting Season 2, hopefully you're maxed out at level 40. If you're not maxed at level 40, that's okay, as long as you are not at level 4. But if you are active and participating, hopefully you're at least in the 30s, 25 or higher at the minimum. And I'll talk about a little bit of a secret I found, so you could actually have gained points in between the season. But let's talk about the specialty trees first. Your green tree, the far left one, is basically going to apply to extra honor points. Honor points is how you raise your specialty level. These are your honor points. This is basically like your RPG game. This is what you need to get leveled up. This is where you're at. And every time you take a tile or upgrade a building, you get honor. Honor is given to you different amounts based on different buildings. As you can see with the processing plant, here's how much honor you would get for each level, and it increases all the way to the max level 20. The other way you get it is by taking tiles. That is a very frequent way of doing it. I did make a video talking about how many honor points you would get based on the tiles you would take. But yeah, the goal is to get as many levels as you can. The green tree is going to add a percentage of honor gain. If you go green right, it's going to apply to taking tiles or your territory battles. Obviously, you can keep adding that up. This is going to be a max of 9%. So 9, 18, 27%. And then add another 9%, so 36 until you get to the end. The sides are going to be marching speed towards territories or honor structures. Those are going to be more applicable. The top is going to be more applicable to your battles when you go to attack other structures, and the bottom is going to be used all around, whether you're in a battle or not in a battle. That's me. I don't want to afford to pay. Yeah, I know. Most people don't, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it does require a different strategy, and that is what people don't understand. And they get confused or frustrated because they make the wrong choice, and they don't know how to fix it. Or they hear information, but they don't hear it fully, which is a very big thing in this game, especially when you start looking up information. People will start doling out information, but they don't follow it up with what to do or when to switch that tactic. And I'll talk about that when we get to the blue tree, because that is a very common misconception we had during season 1. We had a lot of people screwing up, and I'll talk about how they screwed up and why they screwed up. But if you go green left, you're going to be adding extra honor for every time you upgrade one of your buildings. This is going to be your 2-hour buff. And then the last one is going to be the once a day major honor gain. Big secret or something, I guess, however you want to word it. If at the end of the season you leave your points, wherever you leave your points is how it's going to stay until the next season, until you can change them. If you have this unlocked, you can still access this in between seasons through your Doomsday Lab, and you can collect honor points when you're not even in Doomsday. So that's how some people were level 47 before the start, when the max is only 40. So at the end of the season, if you're able to, max this out and then start collecting points in between seasons. There's still one more season minimum, and then you're going to go into Eden, which is a whole nother ball game. But if we go up, this is going to be adding experience to your heroes. Not really beneficial, but the major benefit to the up is going to be your left and right path. Left is going to add percentage of extra resources to what you harvest, and right is the same thing, but left is going to be for your crops and lumber, which increases your immunity so you can take higher tiles. And the right is going to be for your processing plants and assault and guardian fortresses. Most of this information, especially if you're done with season 1, you already know this. This is not new information to you. Talking about blue. Now, blue is going to be the main one, especially at the start of every season. Left is going to be for processing plant. Up is going to be for making things process faster. And each one of these big circles is going to be an extra slot for your processing plant. As you can see, processing. I probably didn't harvest, but I don't really care. And I still got to upgrade. And that's how you harvest. I still got tiles I got to take anyways. So blue is how you process things faster. When you start the season 1, season 2, whatever, your processing speed is going to be slow. So the general gist, if you watch any videos, you've done any research on Doomsday, generally says, go blue left, go blue left. And that's a great theory. To a second, to a point, I should say. The reason being is most people keep going. And they get to here and they're like, oh, I don't know why I can't take higher level tiles. So here's the key. Stop when you get 2 slots. You're not going to need anything more, especially in the beginning. Just speed up. Just enough to get 2 slots, and that way you can start upgrading everything else. Down is going to be your extra structures. That's going to be great for upgrading and getting extra honor. However, initially in season 2, it's great to have them, but your upgrade points should be focused more on your immunity centers so you can take the highest tiles possible. If you could get to level 15, 16 before the first battle or within the first week and a half, then you're sitting pretty. Take the highest tiles you can, and then you can reset and change this. But to the right is going to give you buffs for your immunity so you can take higher level tiles without actually having high level honor structures. Yes, I know I need to upgrade, which I will, and I'll do that real quick. So yeah, knowing when to switch or reset is going to make a big thing, or it's going to make a big change for you. I'm not going to upgrade these yet because they're not going to do me any good. So basically, in the start of season 2, I found the biggest thing you want to do is focus on trying to get as many disease crops or lumber or water as possible so you can upgrade your immunity centers as high as you can, as fast as you can. I'm here to take over the world. So here's the deal. You want to get these as high to get the highest tiles you can as fast as you can. The quicker you can get the highest tiles, the more likely someone's not going to take them from you. So the higher level tile, the more resources you're going to get. The more resources you're going to get, you can then focus on everything else. So this honor level can start scrolling through. Up is going to be your destruction power. That's going to focus on your APCs. I'm not even going to talk about red yet. Not even a point to. This is more for battles. This is really going to come into effect later on. You can if you want to, but for now, and especially in the beginning, you need to focus on trying to get as many high-level tiles as you can. And then once you do that, focus on upgrading and getting as much honor as possible. So that's where resets come in. If you want to pay every week, you have your option. This is for pay players. Oh, let me go in my base so I can show you. You should be, if you've played this, you're probably familiar already with the Doomsday investment plan. $10 every 7 days. You get a daily reward, plus you get these extra bonuses of faster healing and more production speed. And then every week you get a free reset. It's not really free because you're paying, but you're getting a ton of extra bonuses that do make it worthwhile. Now that does add up, don't get me wrong. If you even want to do it once in a while, just so you can get the specialty privilege and every so often get these bonuses, that's completely cool too. But it is a worthwhile package to get once in a while. So whether you're a big spender or a little spender, this would be your best option to get. If you're a free player, that's where things are going to start to get a little trickier. If you're a free player, you probably went blue left, which is the smart thing to do. Hopefully you stopped here or here. If you went here, it's not the end of the world, but hopefully you didn't go further than this. If you didn't go further than this, you could start working to the right and taking the tiles. Getting your level up so that you can get the extra structures unlocked is going to be beneficial. But at some point, you're going to need to use a reset. And as a free player, you should have gotten 2 free resets from the game in the beginning. That is something that they gave you at the start of season 1, and hopefully you didn't waste them. But if you did, then you're just gonna have to, I hate to say, but go with the flow and do what you can. I would do a little here. I would probably unlock to this slot, and then I would have worked over here, maybe unlock to this slot, and then I would have worked on maybe green so I could get levels faster. The more levels I get faster, then I can go down. Season 2 is going to have a max level of 80. Once you hit level 80, it's going to cut you off like a bad drunk at a bar. You're done. You don't got to go home, but you can't stay here. Once you get your 80 points, that means you get 80 points to split up however you want in these 3 trees. But we're going to focus solely on the start. So, solely on the start, if you're a new player, or I should say if you're a free player, left and right, done. Focus left and right. Go left to the first one, stop, and then start going right all the way. That's what I would have done. Hopefully you have that set up already since the season 2. Whatever you ended season 1 with is how you're going to start season 2. Once you have those kind of set up, you can start worrying about raising your level faster, either by territory or building upgrades, whichever. Remember, the honor you're going to get from the immunity center is practically nothing because it's already allowing you to get high level tiles. The honor you get from processing plant upgrades and the fortresses upgrades are going to be massive the higher you go. So your main honor points are going to come from here and here. And this is just going to allow you to get higher tiles so you can get more resources faster. So then what do you do? Now that I have all that, that's great. Fantastic. whoop-de-doo. You're going to start working on tiles. The beginning of the season, I wouldn't even worry about getting oil or iron. I wouldn't even worry about those tiles. I would try and get as many crops and lumber. I know I kind of repeating myself here. I would focus on these two resources as much as possible so that you can max out your immunity centers as fast as possible. If those are maxed out, you could take the highest tiles without even the extra bonus. So that's where I would focus. Once those immunity centers are high enough and you're pulling in enough resources and you can start taking tiles in other states, then yeah, you could focus on the other resources and upgrading the other structures. But for the time being, I think in the beginning, the biggest thing is to try and get the highest level tile you can as fast as possible. And that's going to basically be focusing on these tiles right here. Talking about the tiles and talking about the difference in power. If we go to view, like a level 13 tile, the guard power here is 4 million. In season 1, it was probably like, I forgot, it was less than 1 million. So they drastically increased the strength of each one of these tiles. But the reason being is what I said earlier. You're going to have stronger equipment, you're going to have stronger APCs, you're going to have stronger everything. So it kind of balances out. You don't really notice it as long as you are progressing with the game. But if you are not, or you're a little bit behind, it's going to be tough. Looking over at my other base here, this is a lot lower in strength than my main one. So it's going to be a bit before this can even come anywhere near my main base. But I'm still working on it. I'm working on it and trying to keep it up. But the thing is this other base has a different purpose in the season than my main one. This one is more for assisting during battles than it is for being the strongest it can be. Whereas my main is what I want to be the strongest base in the state for the most part. Which actually is a perfect one right there for me to take. See, I takes it. I takes the tiles. Yeah, so that's basically it. There's a big difference. Let's see. Big players of VSK went to XTV. So they're talking about the other states. Let me show you the other states. So we're in second right now. We don't get to battle anyone. No one wants to battle us. But it looks like, what'd they say? Went to XTV, so VSK. VSK, but I thought VSK is 90. Yeah, so the state 90. They say a lot of them went to this state. Now, these are the top states here. Well, kinda. 84 is a strong one. 83 is a strong one. He tooks it. I know, I did tooks it. 84 is a strong state. 83 is a good defense state. This one, they required a battle plan, and no one wanted to listen to me, but whatever. And 82 is a very strong state. Also remember, strong states are going to include a lot of high pay players, so don't ever feel bad for not being a big pay player and not being in the top. Everyone plays the game differently. There's no wrong way to play it as long as you're having fun. That's the main goal. If you're not having fun, there's a problem. You need to figure out why you're not having fun. I know that there are people that are toxic. There's a lot of people that can be jerks or look down on other people, but I say fuck them. Oh, YouTube, I can't say that, can I? Oh, whatever. I said it too late. So yeah, those are going to be your major differences. And that's how you should start. You should start season 2 strong. Focus on those tiles. Now, you could apply the same theory to season 1, but your specialty points were none, and you had nothing to add to. So to add to straight right to take higher tiles was a little bit harder for most people. But you also got to remember to keep taking and dropping tiles. That is a thing people forget. Take, drop. Use your durability. I know I can't even touch my farms. So a lot of it is I'm stuck on a lot of things because I can't touch my farms, but I also have a lot of resources sitting in my storage, so I'm doing okay, and I don't have much left to upgrade. I'm kind of maxed out on a lot of things, so the things I am upgrading are major buildings anyways, so I have a long time to wait. So the best key to get more honor is to just constantly take a tile, you know, hold it, harvest, drop, move up, move it, go to the next one, take another one, take another one, take another one. That is your main strategy here. And eventually you're going to wind up having a lot more tiles. And once battle starts, you know, the purple tiles, if you've already gone through season 1, the purple tiles is what you get from other states. So now that battles have started, if you can battle another state, you can get your tiles in there, and then you can start taking extra resource tiles in different states. And that should add to your resources and your honor a lot faster. It's a little slow in the beginning because of that fact. So let me take a couple tiles here. Obviously, it's not difficult, but it is... it does hurt a little bit. I will say it hurts a little bit. Why can't you touch your farms? I can't touch my farms because my durability. Okay, so this isn't the durability of your APC. You can only attack so many times with your APC. You can't just constantly always attack, right? So each time you take a tile that is 10 durability, so that means each APC here can only take 10 tiles quickly, and then you have to wait for it to recharge. It takes 7.5 hours for a full recharge from 0. So if you're dropping tiles, retaking, and then attacking adjudicators and whatever else to help advance yourself in DD, your durability is going to be basically 0 a lot of the times. Not to mention, you also want to save your durability for battles. I saved my durability because I thought we were going to have a battle. We might have a battle in 8 hours, but that is going to be like 4 a.m. for me, so I am not going to be there for that battle. That is the problem with that one. That's why it's a little frustrating. It's also another reason why people have problems with battles at times, because you have people in different time zones all over the world, so you're not ever going to have everyone all at the same time. The best time to try and have the majority of your alliance is going to be at reset. Reset for me is 9 p.m. about an hour ago. That's when majority of the people are online. They're in a either morning or early or later evening, I guess so to say, but it's not too late for people. So yeah, it says the battle will be at 8 hours. That is, yeah, 5 a.m. And I don't want to be up at 5 a.m. unless I absolutely have to. Now, that's not saying I haven't been up at 5 a.m. for a battle. If it is an important battle, I know it's going to be a big important battle, I will try to be up for it. But that's a whole nother situation to discuss. Everything is dependent on other factors. But yeah, you want to constantly just take, drop. My influence just jumped big time because it was in the 20s because I was being lazy. And now that I know I'm not going to have a battle, I'll just take tiles and drop my low ones and move on with my life. So yeah, that's what you should do. You should always be moving up. I'm going to be dropping all these 10s, trying to get 12s now, and getting more resources quickly. So hopefully that'll work out for me, but we'll see. I hope to have level 14 by the end of the week, if not higher. It all just is dependent on how things flow. But, and you know, we're also fighting tiles. I shouldn't say fighting, but we're trying to get tiles we're competing for tiles within the alliance. And then if we do have a battle and someone winds up in our state, then they can take our tiles. But we've been pretty tough on people trying to invade our state. last season we didn't allow a single state to stay in our state. We got rid of them pretty quick, so we did pretty good. This season is probably going to be a little bit tougher. We'll see how it goes, but who knows? So yeah, that's kind of it. That's kind of what I wanted to discuss since we didn't have the battle. I would have loved to have had a battle and discuss strategy. I mean, I can briefly do that. Our goal was... Ooh, do I have another one? I don't think so. Yeah, no, I think that was my last one. That's all right. Let me drop those and drop a couple of these. I'll show you the team that we were aiming for that we didn't battle. I think they did have a battle though, so their AC may be fucked up. Oh, I did it again. Let's see here. So we were aiming for 90. Where is it? And since I am big on strategy, yeah, see, they already lost. That's who we were aiming for. What did they do? Ooh. How did the enemy defeat them? They came this way. Oh, wow, they got really close. Yeah, that was kind of what we were trying to do. Yeah, you see the big hole right there. So basically how a battle goes is your alliance will place a rally point and try and destroy their AC 1 first, and then go for 2, 3, 4, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's probably the best strategy right there. Put the rally point right there, and then add a couple bases, go move quick and fast, and take it down. And that's what they did. They did good. Now, this is a weaker alliance, which, you know, it looks like, is that, no, they did pretty good. I don't really know how this went down. I wish I did see how that went down, because I don't know if they really left that hole there or if the opponent made that hole, which is a quite big possibility. But let's talk about the difference between that and an actual stronger state. I know I showed you ours, but let me show you the number 1 right now. I don't think I marked theirs yet. And we'll talk about the difference between those two, because they're going to have just as big of a setup as us, if not a little bit bigger. It's loading. Loading. No, they're not there. Gotta find them. Gotta find them. Where are you? Where are you? I need to find your AC. There it is. So yeah, this is the next strongest state. I mean, probably say the top 3. Can't really see it. I hate. They really need to fix. I wish I could zoom out and see it better, is what I'm getting at. So as you can see, that's their main one. This is the main alliance of this state. Let me heal real quick. This is the main alliance of this state. Their layout. That's not a hole. That's a hole? What are they doing? Oh, no, 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 no. Why did we not? That kind of irritates me. We could have beat them. Whatever. People want to play nice in the sandbox. That's the problem. I will say, though, we should be afraid of them, because they could easily destroy us if we're not on our A game. But yeah, they left a huge hole right here. But I will say they do have a lot of power, and they are quick to respond. So even if we were able to get this close and we were able to get all of our bases here, they could probably still hold us off with their strength alone. They would probably beat us. I shouldn't say beat us, but they would hold us off. We probably wouldn't have gotten to their AC. We probably wouldn't have gotten to here. They would have definitely held us. Maybe we would have gotten here. With the right strategy, we might have done it, but that requires people to listen to me. I love it. I love it. I get to make myself feel more important here. I get to make myself feel more important here than I probably really am. I will say the one thing I am good at is strategy. I mean, shit, that's what I do for work. I gotta learn how to attack things on multiple angles. If people would listen to me more, we might be able to do a little bit. But it also requires knowing how many people are going to show up for a battle. We don't know that. It requires knowing that people are going to listen. It requires people know what the plan is. People need to be informed of what the hell they're doing. If they don't know what they're doing, then they're going to do something stupid. So that requires communication. I know that's a very big word for a lot of people. They don't know what communication is. That's a tough thing. It's a real tough thing for people to understand. But yeah, they did have big holes. Never mind. So yeah, I guess I'm not as impressed. We probably could have killed him. I don't know what happened here. Let's see. Let me see. I know I did mark a good looking one though. I think 84. I think 84 has their shit together. Oh, I did it again. Yeah, they definitely did. Yeah, okay, so this is a good setup. All right. That's why they sound, to be honest. Yeah, I know. This is actually a good setup. This is similar to ours. This is a very tough nut to crack. They have for those that may not understand, you can't teleport a base in these where these squares are. So in order to work through this to get to here, you actually have to make a path. So you have to actually take tiles all the way through till you get to their AC so you can attack their structures. This is the only structures that you can attack. And at the same time, you're going to have the enemy fighting you back. So that's why it makes it more difficult to see something like this. This is a very well put together. Look, it goes out pretty far. They have a lot of room to play with, and it's going to take a while for people to get to where they are. And since it's harder for the opponent to go through like these structures, it's almost it's an almost impervious tactic. Ours is, I will say, I think ours is better. And that's not trying to boast. I had nothing to do with it. It looks like someone's battling. DFD, who's DFD battling? I don't even know who they're fighting. It's probably, what are you doing there? What you doing there? I don't know why he's there. I don't know why our guy is involved in another state's battle, but whatever. I'm not gonna get involved. Okay, they're fighting LGE. They're fighting this team. So this is their second strongest alliance, I believe, in this state. This is their first one. This would be their second one. Yeah, they're about to go down. So yeah. But I will say that's still a strong defense. I will say ours is probably better though. Let me go to ours. Whoop. And like I said, I had nothing to do with it. I give credit to the people that came up with it. I just enacted what I could. Because I have a farm alliance. I have an entire alliance of just my farms. And if that makes sense. I'm BTK. Bind, torture, kill. And all of my characters are, all my farm names are horror characters or serial killers. So, well, I said, if I ever decide to lose my mind in this game, then I'm just going to let all the killers loose. But our layout is better, so it's way harder for opponents to go through bases they really can't. They can't attack bases. So having them here from wall to wall means that in order for them to destroy it, they have to use missiles, which requires a lot of resources. And we have anti-missiles, so it's going to take a lot for them to remove these bases so that they can get through. But to show you the gist, this is where our end is. It's up here, where probably a little bit north of where this blue base is, and this is where our AC is. So that means our opponent has to come from way up here and tile all the way down to us. So it's going to be almost impossible unless the entire alliance is able to do it, or they're able to somehow squeeze into a spot. They're not going to be able to get close to us. And our layout is specifically designed to fight off missiles. So, because the new missile that is introduced in season 2 is able to remove tiles. If it strikes in a certain area, and it's able to remove tiles in an area. That's why we kind of spaced them out like this, so that even if it does destroy some tiles, it won't be able to allow more bases in. It'll only allow maybe 1 or 2, and we're able to fight that off. And those missiles are expensive as fuck. They are expensive. It requires a lot of stone to build those for the alliance. So they're not very, you can only have 3 per alliance, and they're not cheap. We have 3. They cost, I believe, either 1 million stone or 100,000 stone. I'm not sure. And our alliance is only allowed to have 5 million altogether. So yeah, they're not cheap to make, but they're very strong. It erases a 5x5. A base is a 4x4. Keep in mind. So this can erase a 5x5. So if they use all 3, they can clear technically a 15x15 spot. That would allow maybe 4 bases in. So that would be smart. Or it would allow a rally point so that they can start tiling from. So one way or the other, it's a very powerful thing to add into season 2. So, yeah. So I think that's it for tonight. Hopefully we will get battles. It's just a shame that people try to avoid us. I wish we were we had a little more competition, or at least people who were a little more aggressive, I guess so to say. But they see this and they get scared, and I get it. If I had to face this, I would have to. It would be a real hard mental struggle to get everyone on board to do it. So I get it. I understand why people don't want to fight us, and that is only going to hurt us because we can't get the points, and if we can't get the points, we're not going to move up. So the smartest thing the opponents can do is not fight us. The smartest thing everyone from level 4 down is not fight the top 3. That's the smartest thing. Try and avoid us like the plague. I mean, anyone can declare us. See, that's the thing is, so people set truce timers for battles, which means you can't attack us between, this time and this time. We don't have that. We don't set a truce timer. People can declare us at any time. We don't bother. So people can, and the same thing with this one. This was the one I showed you before that had a huge hole. No one wants to fight them, and we don't want to fight them, and they don't want to fight us because they know it's just going to be, a tough start for both of us. So we try not to get into too much of each other's hair until it really counts. So, yeah. So anyone can declare us and attack us, but no one wants to. So yeah, that's gonna be it. Hopefully, it kind of helped you start. If you're starting season 2, it gives you a little bit of insight on how to move along, I guess, as quickly as you can. This base is only able to take 12s. My other one here is only able to take 10s or 11s. By the way, this is Human Resources. This base's name is Human Resources, as you can see, HR. So this is the state's Human Resource Department. So we try to make sure that all employees are happy and satisfied in the state. So, yeah. And that's all they do. That's the job of HR. To make sure all employees are safe, their concerns are being listened to, everyone's birthday has cake, and yeah, we take all complaints. So we'll write people up, we'll cut their salaries. You know, we do all the things the HR department needs to do. So we're an all one-stop shop. Yeah, I know. I do need a raise. So, all right, that will cover tonight. I will be back next week, same time, I believe, same day. I'll have to double check the schedule, and hopefully we'll have a battle then. If we do happen to have a battle and I'm on, I will jump on real quick and stream just to have it on record and talk strategy and hopefully teach people how to look at the battles and what people should be doing versus what they do. And hopefully people can see how stupid a lot of people are. And I don't like to say that, but it's frustrating. People misjudge what their role is, and it's very important. Every job in a battle is important. It doesn't matter if you're the strongest or the weakest. Every job is important. And it's not about whether or not that person scores the most points. It's about whether the alliance wins the battle. And people lose sight of that because they want to prove that they did the best. And it's not about that. Everyone needs to have a job, and that needs to be their sole thing that they focus on. Because if there's one chink in the armor, then the entire army is going to fall. So it's a mindset that people need to start realizing. And it's especially important when you start fighting strong opponents. You can't just fight on power alone. So, all right. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night. And until next time, be safe out there. Bye.